thought is correct, Chihiro wouldn't have to be the one breaking every single one of them. Say if the Tobimune broke against the Shinichi all because of the massive power differential. I don't think it's that far-fetched, although I do understand why most do.
The enchanted blades are prized possessions, but because of that, have you really paid attention to just how sluggishly Chihiro treats his blade? Think guts, sleeps with it, bathes with it, washes its teeth and kisses it goodnight before bedtime. That blade is his everything, his purpose and meaning in life. Now let me ask you another question. Have you ever seen Guts throw his sword like a projectile? No, because it's important, valuable, something that means a lot to him. And we know Chihiro knows this because against Sojo, he uses the disposable wakizashi instead. Or what about that time he literally gives up the Enten to save Hakuri's life? It's a telling sign of how much he loves the guy, but doesn't it also tell you just how easily he's able to let go of what is essentially his dad's parting gift, the one he gave his life for? Even if made in unison, this is without a doubt the work of Kunishiguro Kuhira, from the trademarks that even Kyora notices to the 3 ability functionality. Even if Chihiro is the wielder, the blade is not his. And if chapter 1 foreshadowed anything in this series, it's that one day Chihiro will have to make his own katana. And with this, the time has finally come. Without being too vulgar, to all of Kagurabachi is nearing its end type of people, read your second manga, will you? The introduction of a last boss that is far too strong that then sets back the protagonist is a tale as old as Cinda fucking Rella itself. Why did you think this series would be any different? And if there's any person still doubting the Seitei War flashback arc, yeah, you can go ahead and dispose of those thoughts. Or if you really need more convincing, watch my latest video. It's pretty damned good, if I may toot my own horn just a little. Akemura being an archaic samurai was spot on, straight up. From Harakiri and sumo rings to literal Bushido principle and Kuguri echoes here and there. One of those is a Zen Buddhist principle known as Kenzen Ichino. The sword and self is one and the same. A mental stride that challenges human bonds with one's imminent duty. And with its ultimate form, you become someone who is capable of completely erasing their personal attachments and desires and turning into a tool and nothing more. Akemura shows the most hesitation he's ever shown this entire series. The genocidal serial killer not able to hurt his nephew, until Chihiro proves that he's not just a pitiable child, but a valiant samurai taking a stance. And in this moment, Akemura's ties to self erase themselves completely. Swordsmanship can take many forms, as we'll come to see throughout the next stage of Kagurabachi, but Kuguri, Sojo, and Akemura really rotate around one another in perfect trinity. To clash is to converse. To converse is to weigh one's beliefs against one another, and such beliefs should be held in heart for what is one measly lifetime. And the Kugurisms don't end here. Remember forms? Yeah, the Magatsumi has a limitless amount. When you add that a wielder is strongly reflected in their sword and vice versa, it essentially confirms Akemura's swordsmanship, and I had it completely wrong. It's not one style, it's every style, an innumerable amount of them. His form, both in power and grip, changes depending on what is necessary. All this, and he still didn't want to learn white purity. Did Itsuo insult his sister? Because clearly he has a lot of care for her. Neasan confirms that she's the elder sister, and family hierarchy roles have been very interesting to say the least ever since Tenri Soya and Hakuri. Are we going to explore the world of a big sister whose brother is unredeemable and therefore has cut all connection, or a third person in all of this chaos that agrees and reaffirms the malediction? One thing is clear though, for Akemura to care more about Chihiro being related to his sister than to Kunishige, that tells you a lot. The sealing of the enchanted blades, to Yura it was a terrible mistake, but I imagine for Akemura it runs deeper, like a betrayal. The swiping blood of a cheek is a trope that goes as far back as Greek theater itself, and instead of doing a whole 2-minute Oppenheimer bit on explaining its detailed history, I figure psychoanalysis fits better. We know Akemura has trod over countless corpses, which was the first step to characterizing him as someone inhuman, but pain tolerance is for both mortals and the one considered above. See, we've seen heads chopped off, stomachs gutted, and arms cut clean from both regular and enchanted blade folk. You get used to it, you build tolerance toward it, but a cut on the cheek? It means nothing. The pain it causes? Nil. This trope is often used to showcase how a character reacts to the unexpected. Someone filled with pride and ego like Black Clover's Lucifero might throw a baby tantrum because such a thing should literally be impossible. But someone who has long since disposed of ego has no reason to react emotionally. And that's where we get acknowledgement. And Soga smiles. Akemura was clearly born with an RBF, and so a change of expression like this really signifies that it has never happened prior. And seeing as Samura confirms they couldn't even hold a candle, that tracks. Like the samurai he portrays himself to be, the man has finally found a challenge. The heart of a samurai is in their sword, which is why Akemura piercing Chihiro's heart is paired with the breaking of the Enten. This is Bushido, this is honor, and this was the only way it would ever pan out. Parallel Bachi has always contained older chapters in contrast to new ones, but this time we're paralleling Bachi with a different series entirely. When you think about the famous scene where the main character loses their weapon, snapping Ichigo's Zangetsu is one of the most popular examples. But when you break it down, Zanpakuto are everywhere. While their crafting methods are densely specific and only craftable because of one man, their abundance makes the rarity and therefore importance drop by the thousands. But there's only 7 enchanted blades. After the Cloud Gouger, 6. And now, 5. While losing a part of Kunishige's legacy hurts both the society and Chihiro's mental well-being, what surely hurts the most is its invaluability as the only one in the entire world. On October 9th, 2023, I wrote what I still consider one of my most treasured threads, not just because of how much of it came true without me even knowing it, but because of how well everything comes back to the series' title, Kagurabachi. Chihiro's isolated life, a fishbowl, the Enten, symbolic of that, a literal placeholder for everything to do with the past. You break the Enten, the glass shards fly, and the fishbowl cracks. Like the day Kunishige died, the 3 goldfish flopping on hard ground, breathing their last and fading away. Chihiro's spiritual manifestation took the shape of those goldfish because there's something he doesn't want to lose. And now, even that is gone. It's solemn, it's sad, yet there's a hidden, more beautiful meaning to all of it. And that's freedom. One way or another, every single character of interest has treated Chihiro differently because of his heritage. Yura cares about the Rokuhira status, Hirohiko cares about the tragedy he's had to endure because of it. The Kaminabi see him as a literal mirror to Kunishige. When has Chihiro ever been his own person? The very thing that Kunishige always wanted him to be. Wielding the blade of his dad, the trench coat of Shiba, the scar given by the Hishaku, and the Rokuhira eyes. But where is Chihiro? You can argue it's an amalgamation of all that, but I think a chapter like this gives room for a new. Like his name, 1,000 Oars, Chihiro has been very malleable and adaptive to everything that he's experienced. But those are external forces at play. Beyond the one moment of realization realizing his monstrousness, every point of large character development has regarded other people and the enchanted blades, leaving Chihiro's internal exploration extremely minimal. With the Cloud Gouger's tip still Chekhov's gunning more than ever before, and the concepts of Chihiro becoming a swordsmith at large, it's time to forge a new blade, a new person entirely, isn't it? Would this, with the handle of the Enten and the tip of the Cloud Gouger, become but a mere imitation of what already existed? Of course it would. That's why you'd need to consult someone privy to self-actualization and swords craftsmanship. In come the theories of Subaru's past regarding swords, even though it's just a Kill Bill reference, but the idea is strong, isn't it? That if Chihiro gets to forge his own sword, his own self-image, that it wouldn't be Kunishige's legacy, it'd be his. What can he become? Who will he choose to be? The possibilities are endless, and like anything regarding legacy, that would need a name. And what better name than the Kagurabachi, a divine dance? Not only does this break Kunishige's formatting of giving 2 kanji names to every single enchanted blade, it'd be a reflection of both his past and the future. This chapter gives the first ever look to that, as Chihiro is described to freely dance in a stage dominated by the Magatsumi. This verb usage has been used prior, but only in the fluttering and floating sense when describing the Tobimune. But in this case, it's referring to a literal dance. Paired up with the dialogue of fulfilling one's mission, it is as if Chihiro's mission becomes attached to that dance, the Kagurabachi. But such mission couldn't be completed with the Enten. After all, they're 2 different beings entirely. This is the cusp of new, and with new, everything becomes available. Kazane's return? Fuck it, why not? Hyuki importance? Borderline confirmed. A deep look into all the sorcery clans across Japan. What the hell? Sure. A Hishaku arc? Sign me up. We've established motives, created character dynamics, and spent an incredibly long time building tension between one another. And now, it's time for a break. A breather. A time skip? I severely doubt it, but time will pass. How Chihiro gets out of this alive? I only have one guess, and that's with Samura, sacrificing his final burst of spiritual energy to Suzaku Chihiro enough that he doesn't actually die, but obviously paying the price himself. Akemura said he's already 1 foot in the grave, and his only response is that he's willing to make a dangerous gamble on the future. And if Chihiro represents connecting the past with the future, then giving your life to ensure his sounds a lot like Samura. It's very poetic that from all the versus chapters, the one that ends in tragedy would be this one. With the Cloud Gouger, Chihiro had a personal bond already created with it, and with the Tobimune, he knew the wielder far too well to end up one of its victims. But against a blade that sends shivers down his spine, and its wielder, an anomaly he wasn't anywhere near prepared to face, both from a strength and mental standpoint, utter defeat.